Coach Greg, in today's video, tragic news. Zhang Xiaofeng has passed away. Now, unfortunately, this happened while doing cardio. He was out going for a run. And so many people are speculating that running, it isn't good for you, that exercise is dangerous, and that we should all be very cautious. Nothing could be further from the truth. And so here's what you need to know. Everyone is born with certain types of genetics passed down from your parents. Some have better genetics than others. Zhang, unfortunately, was dealt a poor deck. His baseline risk for getting a heart attack was very, very hard. The reason that I strongly believe this is because in 2023, he had gone to the doctor, discussed the heart palpitations, the tightness of breath. And so that is one of the telltale signs, and you need to not ignore these. He likely would have died of a heart attack, but not this young. In his 40s, most certainly, not only was it genetics, but also his lifestyle, the things that he chose to do that added to this. And of course, going for a run, that was the final trigger that finally caused it. But his cause of death is not jogging, running, exercise. It's a combination of everything. Jogging most certainly would have helped him to live longer. But what you can't do is out-exercise and out-train a poor diet, not getting enough sleep, smoking cigarettes, and everything else that you choose to do or to put into your body. Now, one thing that we know is true is that he was a former smoker.
你抽烟吗？我是抽烟的，但是我准备过段时间就肯定要戒掉的。我确实，但是我之前是戒过的，本来我就戒了，后来又捡起来了。
The only thing worse than smoking is continuing to smoke. We do know is that he had been smoking for years, that he had tried to quit smoking, but as you know, smoking is very, very addictive and extremely difficult to stop. Now, in 2023, he was hospitalized, and so we know at that point that things were not looking good. The smoking, perhaps the lack of sleeping properly, he was stating he was sometimes only sleeping 5 or 6 hours a night, and perhaps a poor diet conjoined with stress all added to him getting an early-aged heart attack. Now, many people are thinking, well, it had to be the sleep. You know, not getting enough sleep, it's horrendous. I'm going to go over some of the leading factors that cause heart attacks. And so you will quickly learn which of these are bad or extremely bad. Not getting enough sleep. For example, sleeping only 5 or 6 hours a night rather than perhaps 7 or 8 hours. 20 to 30% increase in your chance of getting a heart attack. Now, that is significant, but it's not the end of the world. Alcohol. Only 1 or 2 drinks a day, increase of 10 to 30%. And of course, if you drink more, for example, you're drinking 3 or 4 drinks a day, or if you're an alcoholic, your chances go through the roof. Alcoholics will experience approximately a 100% increase in chance of getting a heart attack. Next, chronic stress. This is actually very high. 40 to 80%. And so depending on your job, the stress that you're feeling, being chronically agitated, if you are in such a work environment, that is not good, and it's actually worse than not getting enough sleep. Next is obesity. 50 to 100%, and that is just if you're obese. Imagine if you're morbidly obese. For example, your BMI, it's over 40. If you're, for example, 100 pounds overweight, your chances of getting a heart attack are through the roof. Next, what about smoking, of which we know he used to do? Even light smoking, 1 or 2 cigarettes a day, 40 to 70% increase from 1 or 2 cigarettes a day. And so if you're smoking heavily, getting upwards of 1/2 to 1 pack of cigarettes a day, 200 to 300% increase. 2 to 3 times greater risk of dying of a heart attack than if you don't smoke. And so of all the things on the list, smoking is worse than all of them put together. And so if you're smoking right now, you're actually a moron. You're an idiot. You're better off being obese, not sleeping, being stressed out than smoking. And so stop smoking the cigarettes already. It's literally going to kill you. And one more thing, if you're using and abusing steroids, chronic steroid use in abusive doses is the same risk, equally as risky as smoking cigarettes. And so if you're going to the gym and lifting weights and thinking, yeah, but look at my biceps, I'm fit. If you're doing steroids, it's the same thing as if you're smoking. And so the body doesn't care. If you want to live a long and healthy life, you have to avoid abusive doses of steroids. And so the only thing worse than having any of these things is having more than one of these things. Imagine you drink alcohol and you smoke cigarettes and you're overweight and you don't get enough sleep and you're stressed out on top of all of it. If you add all those things up, you're perhaps at 400 or 500% increase in all-cause mortality. Now, what are some things that you could do to lower your risk? Doing cardio. If you do just the minimum, 150 minutes a week, it's what, 30 minutes, 5 days a week, and you're just going for a walk. The bare minimum. Your chances of reducing a heart attack go down by 20 to 30%. And so, if you exercise even a little bit, not hard, just a little bit, it can offset some of the problems from the other things that you're doing. Not only that, what do you think happens when you do a lot of cardio? It burns calories, and guess what that means? You lose weight. Your chance of survival goes up. And people do a lot of cardio. Do you know what else they also tend to do? They tend to eat better. They consume better foods, more fiber, healthy fats, and so on. And because they're doing cardio, they have better ability to go to sleep at night. Doing cardio and being fit, it helps with your sleep. You know what else it does? It reduces stress. Did we not look at what stress can do to your body? It can cause heart attacks. And so by doing more cardio, not just the minimum, but even more, you can see that everything falls into place. And so what we do know is that Zhang, at least he was trying. He was doing cardio.
3年前开始跑步，我3年前的时候，我每天大概是跑5公里，然后的话，我在去年的一整年就开始跑半马、跑全马。我全程马拉松比赛是4个小时晚饭。你知道4个小时晚饭大概是什么概念吗？业余一级运动员。
And so, although he was doing one really good thing, the jogging, it wasn't enough to undo the chronic stress, the lack of sleep, and in particular, smoking cigarettes. He stopped smoking cigarettes, and so he's starting to undo some of the damages, but sometimes it's too little too late. Smoking cigarettes is so bad that even if you do everything else right, the damage can still be done, and it can cause you to have a heart attack at a very young age. And so if you're listening to this and you're scared of getting a heart attack, this is what I want you to do. I want you to go and get checked out. You go and see a doctor, get your blood work done, your blood pressure done. Now, if things are actually bad, you've been given a poor deck, what you can do is get medications. For example, if you have high blood pressure, they can give you blood pressure medications. If you have high cholesterol, you get medication for that. You could take baby aspirins, for example. And you can, of course, reduce your stress. You can go to bed on time. You can eat healthier. You can begin doing cardio very easy. You don't start out by running. You just go for a walk. You build up and get to 150 minutes of cardio a week. That is your baseline. You then will start to lose weight. And as you get more fit, you can increase your cardio. You can go a bit longer or a little bit faster. If you do this, you're building up your greatest chance of success. Most certainly, you're going to stop smoking. You're going to stop drinking. You're going to stop abusing recreational substances and make healthy decisions. You owe it to not only yourself, but your loved ones as well. Your wife, your husband, your parents, brothers, sisters, your kids, they don't want you to die an early death. They want you to live longer than last time. And so if you care about not only yourself, but you care about them as well, you will do all of these things to ensure that you live a long, healthy, and productive life. One thing I want to hammer home is don't be afraid of doing cardio. Cardio is going to help you to live longer. Don't avoid cardio thinking, oh, but cardio is going to kill me. No, it's not. It's going to help you live longer. You don't have to go hard, but you have to go longer than last time as well as often. And so please get to the gym, do your cardio, lose some weight, and live longer than last time. And until next time, I am out.